Welcome to the Snobs podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to the Snobs podcast. I'm your host, Mick Manhattan, back again with another episode, 310. And I'm super excited because this is the chill episode. Last week, we had a great guest. This week, we're going to have a great... next week, we're going to have a few all great guests also. One being tied, Melissa, of course, last week, being tied to my college world. And next week, we have a very special guest who is tied to my high school world. So I'm very excited for that. But you're going to miss it if you're not here. So make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you follow and hit the bell so you know when all the great shows are coming out and more. So it's the Snobs podcast. And I hope you like my shirt because you're about to get double of it in a second. But I just wanted to kick off things a little bit. It's the new year. I hope everybody's doing well. We got the flu going around. Please be careful out there. Make sure you're bundling up. Make sure you're taking care of things. Snow is out there. That's just very important. And make sure you're watching movies. Really get into it. I'm having a great time doing the Godzilla thing. If you guys don't know, on the channel, we're doing a very special 16-part event on all of Godzilla. 40 films. And I cannot wait. It's just been a great time all around. So we're going to get into that and more tonight. Our topics are, we're going to talk about this new public domain problem we've got with Mickey Mouse running all around. Is it a good idea, or do you not mess with the House of Mouse? Also, we're going to spin the Wheel of Absurdity, and we are going to review two new great movies that I am super excited to talk about. Are they great, though? We'll see. Aquaman, The Lost Kingdom, and The Family Plan. That's right. And joining me, as always, well, for now anyway, we'll see until he kicks out, but the man himself, producer Paul. Bring him in here. What's up, man?
Not much. How you doing today, man?
Good, buddy. How are you?
I'm great. I like your shirt.
I know, right? We're twinsies.
Yep.
I got to tell you, the funny thing is, like, we were just talking about him too, but and all the time that Casey and I we did the show together, we never wore the same shirt.
Really?
We've had the same shirts,
Right.
You know, especially Scene Snuff stuff, but we never wore them. This was not planned, people, and we're supposed to be on another horror show. You know, well, horror show starting after this, so it's going to be really fun.
Yep. So I love this shirt, and I will say also, you sent me this awesome camera, and I like how much definition I see. I can tell the difference.
Nope.
Now.
Next, you're getting a ring light.
Oh God.
Slowly
Get
but
a good
surely, I'm
camera bed.
converting him over to podcast. So just make sure you guys stick around and cheer for him. I'm excited. Is this your first episode where you're not really a guest? Because you're not a guest. You're a Scene Snob. So is this your first show without some other guest on?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the fuck off episodes, man. These are my favorite. I love our guests, right? Like, they're always a good time and having people there. But when we get to do a fuck off episode and just hang out and talk shit, I love it.
It always comes out the best.
It's the most. Well, I knew. So all day, my wife's sick. The kids were home because it rained.
Right.
I guess you guys down there are getting a bad storm, so we got school got canceled 5 hours away. But you know, whatever. And so they've been home all day driving me crazy. And so I've just been running around trying to get the work done for the show and stuff. So thank freaking God it's just you and me today. I was so excited when I realized it's a fuck off episode. We're good.
Right.
I was like, I don't have to entertain. And I'm so glad that you're on the level now of doing a fuck off episode, so I don't have to entertain you anymore.
Right.
I always try to entertain guests. I'll never try and entertain a fellow host.
Could just be yourself. That's the best way to be.
Goddamn right. You gotta live it. Dude, I love these shirts even more. The bead of water just rolled off of it. So I'll take it. No beer on this shirt. So here we go. All right. You're a big horror fan, as we know. We're wearing a Horror Snob shirt.
Yep.
I want to get your feelings. How do you feel about the public domain characters being written into horror movies and games and such?
So as a horror individual, I absolutely love it. I think it's fun. You know, I think it's doing a fun take on a lot of iconic goody goods from Disney, you know, their characters and stuff. So I do think it's fun. As someone that does know a lot of fanatic Disney fans, I do also understand where they have a problem because, you know, these are wholesome characters they grew up with and, you know, this and that. So to an extent, I kind of see it on both ends, because for me, I enjoy the horrors. I think it's fun, but I just don't want to take it to an extreme. It'd just be like if you took Mother Teresa and gave her a machine gun and had her mowing down people like Rambo. Then that's an extreme, but I could see.
I get it though, man. I'm with you on that. I think that's a healthy example of like what's happening. We're kind of all right. I don't want to sound like I'm that captain fucking up my ass. I don't want anybody remaking anything or touching my childhood. I don't care because I don't give a shit about Winnie the Pooh. That wasn't my childhood. If you want to make a gritty reboot, make Darkwing Duck. I'm right on board with you. Like,
that'd be awesome.
You want to make a horror movie or like a superhero action movie, go for it. But yeah, I don't mind any of that stuff at all. And to kind of bring everybody up who's listening or watching, we all know last year when Winnie the Pooh fell into public domain, they immediately announced a horror, and it was almost immediate. They had a trailer for that. It was ridiculous, and the movie was only out like 2 months later. So I think the thing that bugs me, and I'm gonna bring some. So this year, Mickey Mouse from Steamboat Willie, Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse and Pete, if his name was Pete in Steamboat Willie, I don't even remember, from that short film, their look from that short film are now public domain because that short film is public domain. Why do I say that? Because you're insane if you think otherwise. If you think that any other type of Mickey sort of resemblance is in the public domain, you're insane. Winnie the Pooh has a very distinct look in a Disney, and that's not public domain. That look is copywritten.
Right.
But the books that they were, and I know you know this, and you've seen it, and I want to get your opinion on it, but the books that were written about Winnie the Pooh and his look in that, and even having the red shirt or having a different look like you did in Blood and Honey, it works. You can use all of those characters that weren't invented by Disney and stuff like that. So my problem with this is we have 2 Mickey Mouse movies now named horror movies and a Mickey Mouse video game.
Yep.
Almost immediately. It was, and I know it happened because John Oliver has been making a joke about Steamboat Willie and how he's going to be a mascot on a show on Last Week Tonight, and he's had Steamboat Willie come out. But the thing is, it's exactly Steamboat Willie. He knew what he was doing when he did it.
Right.
These guys who are making these movies have done some stuff like you can't. It has to look, if you're going to call it Mickey or infer that it's close to or even resemble the look, you're screwed. And here's why. So for the past couple of years, Disney Plus and Disney in general have been making short Mickey Mouse films with Minnie and Donald and Goofy and all of them. They're all in there. Yep. And now I want to ask you something, Paul. I think like me, you've grown up with the mouse and he's pretty recognizable to you. So be honest and do not give me the Steamboat Willie version because we're talking about it. If you close your eyes and picture Mickey in your head, what does he look like?
The guy I see for the Disney commercials for Go to Disney World and all that.
Yeah, he's got the red shorts, got the white gloves, got the sort of a tannish face. Steamboat Willie, had the black, like just black eyes, and it was all white and black and white because everything was black and white back then. So let me ask you, if you're going to copyright something, if you're about to lose the copyright on your biggest character ever, and you want to protect it leading up to those years until it goes on public domain, what do? Probably try and generate characters that may be a little bit different, but sort of look the same.
Yeah.
Sort of like, them.
Right. Yeah.
Or them.
Yeah.
Or that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I bet you so here's the big difference. If I remember correctly, Steamboat Willie, I don't think had any fingers. Now I might be wrong about that. I might be. He might have had like nubby type of fingers, if I'm correct.
He didn't have distinct, not that I remember.
And he did not have the gloves. A lot of times they were looked like circles when he was holding the thing. I'm looking at it right now. And he did have 4 fingers, right?
Okay.
He did have 4 black fingers. So that I can kind of see. Now I bring this up for a reason. This motherfucker looks exactly like him, right?
Right.
And that's copywritten. Because there's got to be some little difference somewhere that tells me this dude is just a little bit different, even if it's the shade of the shoes.
Yeah.
And they would have had him copywritten.
Yeah.
So if that happened and I'm right, people are fucked.
Right.
And do you think that's deserving of it? Do you think they should be? I would love to hear your thoughts, especially emerging in the film world.
So it kind of goes back and forth, but I think we put those laws into motion. I hate to be that guy because I've broken a law too many times, but I do think we put those laws in motion to protect people. and in this instance to protect characters. So, if Disney found some slight loopholes to kind of protect their end, to where if someone gets too close, they can be like, no. I understand Disney trying to protect themselves, so I'm kind of on the corporate side of it, where I'm like, you guys better do your due diligence, make sure you're not crossing those toes that you shouldn't be crossing, because Disney don't play with lawsuits, and it's Disney. You're never gonna win.
I think I'm well read on how I feel about, I don't know, the Catholic Church and any church in general, Christianity in a whole. The government, the food industry, the film industry, pretty much every industry, all celebrities, all people really, except the people I like, which are generally everybody except for celebrities and rich people. I will say this. I hope they don't get sued too bad, because these kids probably don't know. And I'm going to call them kids because there's no way. Like, if it's a 50-year-old man who made this movie, shame on you. And I hope you get sued, because you should be smart enough. But if you're in your 20s trying to, make it in the film industry, you're going to do stupid shit. And I hope Disney doesn't come after him, but I will not. I'm going to give you this advice, everyone. I will not, after everything I go after, I will not fuck with the House of Mouse. You fuck with the House of Mouse and you're done. They're coming for you.
Yeah. They watch. Oh, go ahead.
I know. I was just going to say, it boggles my mind. It really does. Like, how does this keep happening?
I couldn't. Right. And I will tell you, because I think it's safe to talk about now since they revamped themselves, but Ringling Brothers was their silent partner, 50%, was Disney. And if they caught any Ringling employee with Ringling stuff on at any adult entertainment or any place they shouldn't be, even a liquor store, I promise you, within 5 to 10 minutes, you would get a phone call, take that off, and never go in there again with any of their stuff on.
50% they owned of Ringling Brothers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Now this is interesting. Even more so, I won't fuck with the House of Mouse. That's probably the only bad thing that ever happened to the House of Mouse. Not really, of course. Now, people, I'm not defending them. I'm not defending their act. Remember, this is the same people who covered up a child being eaten by an alligator while watching their fireworks on their property. Like, there's no good they're also the number one they were. I'm sorry, about 10, 15 years ago, they were. I don't know if they still are, but they probably still are. The number one distributor of porn too, that many people don't realize. So when it really comes down to it, and I see how everybody's kind of acting all throughout this, and I'm like, you got to not fuck with Disney, dude. They're untouchable,
right?
So I would have never touched that goddamn. I was actually a little taken back that John Oliver did. And that dude does his research.
Right. So
when I saw that thing come out, I'm like, Disney can find something. You didn't do everything that you needed to do here, because Disney does everything. The only person I think of that could take down Disney. Well, actually, I want to ask that to you first. What do you think? Who's the only person that could take down Disney?
Honestly, and I'm not trying to get political with it, the only person I could think of that I'd be like, they got the wallets for it. Trump.
No way. That dude does not have deep enough of a wallet for Disney. I'm not defending either of them. I'm just saying there's no way he has enough money to take. Even Trump would be like, nah.
I don't think he would, but I'm just saying if I had to pick a dog in a fight to go against Disney that I think might stand a chance, it'd probably be him.
I think Disney wins out. I think God would have a tough time with Disney. And I'm not sacrilege in that one. I'm just saying, he'd win. God's all knowing, but Disney's lawyers are very well paid and very well prepared.
Stupid money.
I know, right?
Money. We had I won't bring up the specifics of it, but we had someone trying to sue us for wrongful termination while I was at the circus. And they realized real quick that our lawyers, because of our 50% ownership, were more than willing to keep extending it out until they couldn't afford their lawyer anymore to get it away. So and that's just a small thing, like corporate, like you said. I don't even know. You might as well cut your losses and say, whatever, man, I'm done.
Yeah, at this point, it's just like, all right, you tried. Be out as little as possible. Even if it's House of Mouse, I remember my wife was getting into the cookie racket, as I call it. See, got in this racket wrapped up tight. So she was getting into that, and she was getting into cookie like groups and stuff to kind of learn how to kind of get into it. And a lot of people were like, hey, I made these designs, and would show their cookies, and they'd have Disney designs. And everybody was, no, you don't mess around. No. And they told her that on some of the cookies they did. They were like, you need to start making that way more vague.
Gotcha.
So it's like there's the same people who sued a preschool,
right?
Sued a preschool for painting Mickey or Donald on there. That's insane. So let me ask you, now that I know the secrets behind Ringling Brothers, where those extra deep pockets came from.
Yeah.
What was that ownership? If you mind talking about it, I should ask you.
No,
first.
I don't mind talking about it.
So what was that ownership like? Did they come in? Were they already there by the time you came in?
I believe that contract was signed before I was there. So I think it was early 2000s, because I believe that's when the Feld family bought them. And then I believe Disney had reached out, and that's why Feld Entertainment's just one family. And that's why they have Disney on Ice and Marvel on Ice and Monster Jam, which makes more sense when you really think about it, because you're like, oh, how did Feld Entertainment get the rights to Disney on Ice, Marvel? Because Disney, they saw that opportunity to get more money. So I mean, they were always there when I was there, but I did not know that until I started working there, and I may or may not have posted some pictures of us flicking off each other during a long shift wearing Ringling stuff, and within 2 minutes, take that photo down immediately, or make sure to blur out the Ringling Brothers. You cannot have that.
Yeah, I get that. Now,
and my account's private, so I don't know how they. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh, okay, click,
that
we're
had
done.
Somebody just like a friend of yours was like, is this okay? Like, so let me ask you. Okay, now knowing this, like with sort of, and I hate to call it a downfall, but like, the circus went away, unfortunately, for the most part, and especially Ringling Brothers, which steeped in so much history. What do you think Disney might have played some sort of factor in that? Like, I'm not quite, because coming in the early 2000s, I know a lot of people were talking about the treatment of the elephants, specifically, but more than animals, and we've talked about that as well.
Yes, sir.
And you have a completely different take. So I almost kind of wonder, like, if Disney sort of had a part in it, ending the circus.
And I'm pretty sure they did. I think Feld Entertainment, they're obviously doing right, because they're a private family. It's just the Felds, it's just their family. So they got to get head on their shoulders. I'm sure Disney did, and I'm sure because the year that we got rid of the elephants is the year they launched Marvel on Ice for the first year. So I'm sure when you look at those numbers and you're like, well, Marvel on Ice is just off the charts, and then you said Ringling without elephants, like, I mean, those audiences were sad without the elephants, because no one was coming out. Because why would you take your kid to that when you have Disney on Ice and Marvel on Ice? So
I'd rather see an elephant, you fuckers.
Right. So in my opinion, I think it might have been more of both, but I wouldn't say it's more than one than other, because I think both of them, it just comes to the bottom line. And if you have 300 plus people working for you, living on a train, and you're not making what you need to be making, you're done. Period.
You heard it here first, everybody. Iron Man killed the elephants and the circus. Enjoy.
Yep.
When he snapped those fingers, Thanos was fine. Thanos disappeared because he's an asshole. He was actually snapping the circus out of existence. Jesus. Oh my God, that would be a funny cut clip of like him snapping the finger. And then it's all of the Ringling Brothers information that came out. Because that was the thing that always messed me up is, circus has been around forever. You never not hear about the circus. Right. But it seemed like a really small window where it was like, they abused the elephants. Now, I mean, granted, Dumbo didn't help.
At all.
That didn't help at all. Like, I even when those articles came out, because I've seen Dumbo so many times, I was like, yeah, I could see it.
Right.
Damn.
And I mean, in all honesty, because people ask me all the time, and I'm like, look, well, I was there, there wasn't there, but I mean, we used to smoke in hospitals in the 70s. So do I think back in the day, were they probably way too aggressive and mean with animals? Maybe, I could believe it. I wouldn't not believe it if someone told me, but.
And how many people have come through those doors?
Right.
So that always makes me wonder, because like, how much of it is truth and what, because like, again, I'll accept all of the lovely whimsical things that Disney puts out. But I also know you're a horror show, and I'm never going to go after you because you're too powerful. Like,
Right.
you know, don't
Yep.
fuck the house mess.
No.
You want to spin the wheel before we get started?
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's spin it.
Or get started. We've actually been started. All right, we're gonna spin this wheel, everybody. This is the Wheel of Absurdity. If you don't know what that is, you're not watching or listening enough, and shame on you. Seriously, just a shame on your whole being. Here we go. Let's rock and roll. See what we got.
If it's a Disney thing, I'm just gonna cut out. Like, I'm done with this
If
random
it's
wheel.
a Disney
Not being
thing, I'm
random.
gonna lose my mind. All right, number 83. 83 on our list of wonder. I didn't pull it up, so I have to pull up the list.
That's awesome.
So we just need to keep talking. Dude, fuck off episode. I told you.
Always.
I don't care. I'm all about that fucking off, dude. So I probably should have had this prepared earlier, but you know, whatever. Here we go. There we go. 83, right?
Yep.
Here we go. How would you direct a movie about the future? Oh shit, I like this question.
Ooh.
How would you direct it? So okay, let's go back and rethink this a little bit. How many movies came out that do direct about the future, right? And think about all the timelines. Like right now, we live in a time where everything about the future is dystopian.
Yep.
But if you go back to like the 60s or the 50s, everything was like brighter than life. World is fantastic. We're running on ulterior fuels and this, that, and the other thing. World is clean. We have flying cars, the whole nine. Far cry. So
yeah,
you're directing a movie about the future. How do you see the future?
I'm very grim with it, so I think we're going to go back. So it's going to be more Mad Max for me.
Are there any elements that? Okay, before we get to the elements question, if you're directing a movie about the future, what caused your future? Like, or at least an idea of what might have caused your future.
I'll say so in my movie, I would put it as all the countries got selfish. So everyone stopped importing anything, period. So every country only looked out for themselves. And because of certain resources that each country has to give, they eventually collapsed on themselves because, we didn't have this, they didn't have that. And then, civilians just started taking over, and then it just kind of ended all government across the globe.
It's so funny that you said that. I think personally, with where we're at in the world now, if all countries closed off to everyone else, didn't import to anyone else, whether you go visit or you cross the borders or whatever, or the barriers or whatever the future is, I think the world would flourish.
Okay.
And it's not because I think we should be selfish. I think because right now we need to be selfish. Everybody kind of needs to deal with their own shit for a while. I think we're too interconnected at the moment.
Fair.
And it's too much. And I'm not getting political here, and I'm thinking about it from the perspective of people of power and their mindsets. How are we not fixing our own shit, our own country? We just found out our Secretary of Defense has cancer. And now, please, God, I hope, you go through your treatments, you'll be fine. I don't want anybody to suffer through that. Right. But it was held in secrecy. You didn't tell us, they forget who they work for. So, not to make it about that, but that secrecy is what's going to kill. The secrecy from other countries is I feel like if we shut it off and we're just gotta make our own shit. You don't have sesame seed buns for fucking McDonald's. Too bad. Right. We got to figure out how to do this on our own. And I think that's what it comes down to. In fact, I was talking to my son about it. We were kind of talking about his homework, geography and such. And I was like, I don't think it's a bad idea if we remain in the United States, but every state ran themselves. I was like, now you have options for people if they don't want to live in a certain element or certain way. And I'm not talking racial or anything like that. I'm just talking about maybe you don't want to live in a place that's packed with cities. Right. Jersey is packed with cities. Maybe you don't want to live there, So you can move to another state. You can apply and move to another state, and then it's governed. We're taking care of ourselves. And then just instead of having this one federal entity, fine, you run your own state, but we're going to have an overseeing council just to make sure it's above board. You're not running some sort of slave state. And I'm talking about it from the perspective of the Hunger Games, the movie we just talked about.
Yeah.
So now money is yours, and in the United States you can interact with it. Right. That money can interact with other money, but Alabama's money is different from Virginia's money or North Carolina's money, and you can use it in another state like we do in other countries. But I just think that's the way you need to make a country, make anything flourish right now. We're too interconnected. Not saying we can't still talk to people. I'm not saying you have to be blocked off like it's a dome. All I'm saying is, if you're living under it, if you have somebody who can run your state, right, it's so much easier than running your country. And now the people who are running the country don't have to worry about the states. They're good. Right. This is an overall okay, we're going to worry about the fence from other countries. Right. That's where we all get together. if the NFL can do it with all the owners, I don't know why we can't do it. But that's just me. And I went political on it, so that's my fault. But I do like your idea. That's a different idea. You don't really see, like, you see after something bad happens, the selfishness, but that's for necessity.
Right.
I like your idea of it's the selfishness that causes the world, that it causes us to go into that world. So, like, if that's the case and that's how we get into the world, and in your mind, in your movie, what is the future look like? Like, is it desolate? Is it completely broken down, or is it separated like that?
It's a mixture of it's kind of mixture of both. Just playing it out in my head, like, what would I like to watch? You'd like to see it where, 2 generations down, those are the kids that get it. To where they're like, this is dumb. Like, why are we doing this? Because we're only hurting ourselves. And then it's about them, since, like you said, like, if I had it where they could still communicate with other countries, you just can't exchange anymore, figuring out where they have enough people involved where they're like, we're just going to start doing this then, like, kind of almost black market-ish. But then all of a sudden it just works out in people's favor, because then all of a sudden, I don't know, like penicillin isn't just us. Your mic is muted. Your mic, I can't hear your mic is off.
I muted myself while you talk.
Sorry.
That's a fuck off episode. I don't care. So I like your idea. I think it's fun. And I like that it's different. It's not nuclear war. It's not, something that happened. It was just like, I almost kind of like the idea of, like, even more so, it's not countries now it's territories. And those territories are ruled by the people who have nuclear, which is essentially what it is now. But even more so, all right, we're cutting you off. We're going to just stick to ourselves. You fuck with us, we have this. And the more guns, the more. Right. So the U.S. would be screwed, essentially, in my opinion, because they would break down to that state tier.
Yeah.
Also, if we had that sort of thing during the zombie apocalypse, it'd be a lot easier to handle. It's all contained. That's your state. You take care of it. Yeah. You get your own militia. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be an interesting. I like that. Mine, I honestly, I love. It's probably going to end up like yours, but I would prefer like a Star Trek sort of civilization.
Oh, that'd be cool.
But like everything, you have to go through the bullshit. You have to go through yours before you can get to mine. Yep. Space travel. Let me ask you this: do you think we'll ever see lengthy space travel in our lifetime?
I choose to believe Musk and what he wants to happen with his goals and stuff. So I would like to say towards the end of our lifetimes, we will at least see it. I'm not saying we'll get to experience it, unfortunately, but I think we'll see the beginnings of it. I hope.
I love it. I think I agree with you. I think in our lifetime, we'll see him make an attempt to go to Mars. We'll never know if they get. I'm not saying nobody will ever know. I'm just saying we'll never know. Maybe you'll know. You're younger than I am. Although he could do that tomorrow, and who knows? So,
they just landed, you guys. Like, I'd be like, well, damn it. I was wrong.
Mick, wake up! And I'm just like laying next to like a gravestone. It's not even like anybody I know. I'm just that old. Like, you might as well just lay me there. I like the I like that. I like your idea. That could be a really fun, twisted type of movie too, especially if you did it as like almost like a political satire.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Because they tried that with Don't Look Up, but it was like the impending, and that movie sucks. So all right, we're gonna get into it, guys. That's right. It is time for the Scene Snob reviews, but we're both going to review. I'm going to have to put Paul up there one day if he ever gets me pictures. That's right.
Get you better pictures.
Got to get me better pictures.
I just got to get you pictures with clothes on. That's my problem.
Fair. You do have a lot of shirtless pictures. Trust me, I had to look through them to try and find one that you had a shirt on for. Dude, you had so many shirts with no pictures. And I'm not faulting you. You look good in them. And that's not even like, I'm not looking to throw you anything. I'm just giving you a compliment. I'm just saying. You have a lot of goddamn shirts. Like, you don't even live next to a beach. Like, here's what astounds me the most. You don't live next to a beach, but you're always dressed for the beach. Even when you're at Carolina Fear Fest. I even remember now. You're dressed for the beach. I've seen your wife. I've seen your best friend. Both dressed normal. Paul's always dressed for the beach. In fact, what did you wear the night we went to the haunt? You probably wore sleeveless and beach shorts.
I think I did. Yeah.
Now,
And then that flannel jacket. No, I just
probably
wore the
did have a
flannel jacket. I think that was it.
You are basically Patrick Swayze from Point Break.
Perfect.
Without any of like the crazy risk factor. All right, let me take that back. Without the crazy risk factor of like the thrill of the hunt, like you really, or the hunt of the thrill, really, you just want to experience that craziness. You're like the risk factor of like, oh shit, I just drank this fifth, I'm gonna jump it. We don't know what you're jumping. You're just saying you're gonna jump something. We're hoping you'll survive. Could be a trash can, could be a road cone, could be a house. We don't know. That's the level of Paul that I think that's the Patrick Swayze version of Paul in my mind.
I'm the absurdity you need to embrace.
There you go. It's absurdly entertaining every time. It wasn't absurdly entertaining?
Hitting Casey with the car?
Listen, not saying I'm happy about it, but like it was kind of entertaining. It came into an entertaining. It wasn't entertaining at the moment,
right?
But it was entertaining afterwards. The whole lawyer thing was entertaining afterwards. Yes, you had to be there.
That's gonna be a moment that plays in my mind before I die. I'm convinced. Like that's top 10 highlights of my life. Like I'm gonna see that and be like, haha.
When the Scene Snobs give you the ultimate fan experience, and after you've paid for dinner, and after you've expounded all your gas and paid for us to get into some special event and gave us gift cards and gold chains, we will maybe take a picture with you and hit one of us with a car. That's how we roll here.
No problem.
There's your ultimate fan experience. We will give you something you can say you've never experienced before.
That is true.
Even if it's just soap in your pockets, but it's absurd. So, no, that was a fun night, but completely accidental. So I winked the wrong eye. I should have went like this. And I went, like, it doesn't make any sense. I'm an idiot. So, and for everybody listening right now, it's a fuck off episode. So we're talking about Aquaman. It's a terrible movie. I said it was great earlier. I don't know why. It's a fuck off episode. Aquaman, and if you're listening to this clip earlier, it's a fuck off episode. So we're talking about Aquaman and the family plan tonight. I'm not even on anything. I haven't even like smoked or taken any gummies or anything. So I'm just been a long day taking care of a sick wife and 2 kids home because of rain.
Yeah.
You have kids, Paul?
Oh.
And they get, no, I know you don't have, I'm saying when you have kids. There was a when in front of it.
No.
If and when you ever have kids and it rains and they get off of school and for some reason, you'll go crazy. Don't worry. It'll be a lot of fun, but it's a great time. So Aquaman sucks. I don't have anything redeemable to say about this movie. I know you do. You loved it. Yeah, you thought it was like the #1 movie of 2023.
Yeah, it was. It should have won all the awards, every single one. I don't care about any. It just should have been in every category and won every time.
I think it's kind of poetic that the dead fish of the entire franchise is the one that it whimpers out on. This was I actually like everyone that's in this movie. I have no problems with any of them. I enjoyed them in other movies. Yes. But in this movie, it's abysmal. Actually, I will take back one. I did like one performance in this movie. I thought they did a great job, and that was what's his name? Patrick Wilson. Conjuring.
Yep.
Yeah, he played the brother. He plays Ocean Master, who's in the first one. I didn't like him so much in the first one as Ocean Master. I didn't like that movie either. But in this one, I'm like, he's more like Arthur Curry than Jason Momoa. Like, this is who he is in the comic books. And I'm not even saying look, he did have the look, but I'm talking about how Arthur Curry acts is the kingly fashion that was shown by Patrick Wilson's Ocean Master character in it. And Jason Momoa was playing a role that was not Aquaman in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And I just feel like he phoned it in to be funny, and it annoys me because he is, and I'm sure he just didn't give a shit because he knew they were going out. Or if he tells me he tried here, I'd be surprised because it did not show whatsoever. I would love to hear, what do you think about this movie?
I mean, I was just disappointed start to finish because of all the controversy that had gone on. I was hoping that, it was at least going to be a good movie, with her in it. Because I was like, oh, well, I'm pushing that aside. I'm going to give it a chance. That's what we should do. And I tried, and I was like, I kind of wish I would have just sat on the other end and been like, you know what, because of everything that had happened, I'm not going to see it because I don't get the time back or the money. This is one I would never suggest. Like if I was drunk over the summer and it was between this and anything else, I'm watching anything else.
It's not even funny. It's not even like a fun movie to watch. Like, I don't mind bad movies if they're fun. Even
Right.
the first one, there was some fun to it. And he wasn't as stupid or zany in this. I was like, why are you playing it different? You know, and the funny thing to me with the Patrick Wilson Ocean Master character, his brother of all things, who redeems himself in this movie. I'm like, first of all, Ocean Master is one of his greatest villains. What are you doing? Secondly, if you are going to redeem him, he's doing a better job. And here's where it's going to piss people off. My three characters that I think did a great job acting in this movie were Patrick Wilson as his brother, Amber Heard as his wife. You know, I feel like she was really trying in that. And like when the baby got taken and she busts in and starts fighting, I'm like, oh shit, she's showing some intensity. Like not even his dad showing that intensity.
Right.
But she did the mama bear thing. And I was like, you know what? Shit on her all you want. You may hate her as a human being, but like she's doing a good job in this movie. And you only gave her 11 minutes. So I don't know what to tell you because you gave this other jackass the whole movie and he's not that good in it. And I like Jason Momoa. He's my favorite part about Fast X.
Yeah.
So I know he can act, you know?
Right.
So, and where was the fucking, I don't even want to get into it. There's no point. This is a movie that it's not even worth getting into. That's how terrible it is. I just thank God that it's dead. We're past the finish line. James Gunn, do whatever you want. I'm sick and tired of fucking fanboys watching this and then saying, or not watching this particular one, but like that whole Snyderverse. And it's just like, we need it back. We need it back. They murdered it. It's not even Zack Snyder's anymore. They stabbed it with so many knives. Julius Caesar was like offended.
Yeah.
He's like, why didn't I get stabbed that much? Do people not like me that much?
Right.
That's why, buddy. That's not why. And there's nothing about, I'm glad it's dead. All right, but before we go, let's give our ratings. You ready?
Yeah.
I gave it a 1, and Paul gave it a 1.7.
Yeah.
That's how much we hated this movie.
Yeah.
1.7. You can't really tell. Like if I change the background, you can tell.
I'll be honest about that 0.7 though. I give credit to you because you definitely opened my eyes with saying, you know, just because you don't like a character or not a character, but an actor or actress that did this, that, or the other, you know, you got to remember everyone else on the film set. So they got that 0.7 just because I know I can tell for some of the scenes, like people did try with the sound, like the editing was okay. So like for the formula of what should be a good movie, it was there. So there was a team of people that did their job. So that's the 0.7. It's
100%.
Not due to the story, but what's actually going on, they got that 0.7.
100% agree. That's why they got the 1 from me. Otherwise, everything I saw on screen deserves nothing. Just to start, and I know I'm being harsh on it, and anybody who's going to comment, which there's going to be some who liked it, and that's great if you liked it. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you had a good experience with it. That wasn't me. But here we go. We're going to talk about the family plan now. To kind of give you a little rundown on this, because this isn't a franchise, especially one nobody gives a shit about. Family Plan stars Mark Wahlberg, Michelle Moynihan as his wife, and he's got 3 kids. He's an ex-CIA assassin who now is just trying to lead a normal family life for like the past 20 years, doing his thing. And he gets photographed one day kissing his wife out in the open by some kids, and then it's uploaded on the internet, and he gets hit. So now everyone's gunning for him because supposedly, I guess he was like the John Wick back in the day. And that's what I'm going to compare it to. So this movie shows him trying to, you know, road trip with his family where they don't really know what's going on, and him trying to stop all of the dangerous things happening throughout. It's sort of a comedy of errors. I got to tell you watch this. I watched this. I didn't dislike it. I had some fun with this one.
Yeah. When I described this to people, I told them kind of like you. I was like, it's kind of like if John Wick made a Chevy Chase family vacation movie. That's really how I envision it. And I was like, if you like either of those things, I think you'll have a fun time because it does have the good action. But like you said, it's very comical in the mistakes that work out and the purposeful things that work out. And it's not quite Chevy Chase because I know some people don't like that level of humor and stuff. So I think it's humor that the whole family can enjoy, from adults down to children, to where you're not going to have to explain to your kids, oh, he's making this joke as a this and that. It's not that awkwardness. It's very much a good family film with the action, which I appreciate.
I agree. And so I don't know if this is an actual term or not. I started calling it a long time ago, and they're called Manny movies. And that's always, and you can see it in the poster down there. It's the movies where some sort of action type star takes over to taking care of kids for some reason. There's always going to be fighting. There's always going to be bad guys. but for some reason takes over. And in every poster, they have a kid in the cradle, like a baby in the cradle. They got the pacifier. We got the spy next door with Jackie Chan. You got countless. Go look them up. So there's a subgenre in my head. I don't know if it actually exists. I don't remember anybody talking about it, so it might. But I call them Manny movies, which is where some action star ultimately becomes a man. I think it's always sort of been around, but I think like one of the biggest defenders of it was Suburban Commando.
Okay.
Sort of, and then he did another one where he did actually play a nanny on it. Mr. Nanny, I think it might have been, or something like that. So these aren't new. They are not fresh, but the only way you make them interesting is usually the characters. Usually the actors who step into those characters make them interesting. And I got to tell you, a lot of the Mark Wahlberg stuff I see these days, if he's not in a really well-written, well-directed movie by some prolific, like a Martin Scorsese or something, I think these are the movies he excels in the most.
Yeah.
I think he's a good family, which is so ironic considering his past, but which he's just, I was kind of annoyed that they didn't play Good Vibrations in the car ride. There was a scene where I forget who they play, but they start singing and he's rapping along to it, but I forget who it was. And I'm like, it would have been funnier if this was Good Vibrations. And I feel like everyone would have watched it.
Yeah,
absolutely. A lot of critics shit on this movie for some reason. They said it was bad, but it was like one of the highest rated movies on Paramount the last month or two.
Right.
I think if you're looking for a fun family comedy movie, don't look at Aquaman, look at The Family Plan. And I did not mean to make that rhyme. So let's give our ratings for this one. Well, actually, tell me what you think about it before we do anything else.
All I was going to say is I feel like a lot of times, because I do my ratings opposite. If Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 10, I'm like, it's probably a 2. I think this one was just a nice change of pace because they weren't talking about anything political. There was nothing that was actually going on. And I think that's probably why they hated it as critics, but for me it was just nice just to get away, just a mindless movie just to get away where I wasn't having to experience anything that was actually going on, period.
I also like that they were a loving couple. It wasn't just this like shittiness that's going on where they have to work through it and this action pulls them together. Yes, he's like a good dad. He's a good husband, good provider. She loves him, like, and so like, it's just a really happy family. He just has this past that's coming up back to haunt them, and they don't fully understand him because they don't know this past. Even story wise, I was like, this isn't too bad. I have some good time with it for the whole family. I think it's a good movie. But our ratings for this are, I gave it a 3. You gave it a 2.5. Any particular reason for the 2.5?
I wish they had given Mark Wahlberg, I guess, better jokes, if that makes sense. So like, I like Mark Wahlberg from The Departed, so I like hearing the Boston accent hardcore and the cursing hardcore. So I definitely have my sense of humor that I enjoy more. And I feel like some of his jokes were just a little too kiddish. So I would have liked if they had just thrown in a little more sophistication in, I guess, the dialogue just for some of the adults. But like I said, not to cross any lines to where you got to explain anything, but just something a little more thought out than just kind of the general dialogue you expect from stuff like this in the pacifier and things like that.
Yes. I get it from a writing standpoint when you're commissioned, like this is a family film. They want every kid represented in that age and in between they want there, and granted this is streaming, so it's a little different, but every kid they want at that theater with their parents watching this. That's the whole purpose for it. So I get why the jokes are what they are, but that's the thing. Like a lot of these jokes don't last, and especially the big action guys saying them don't work. They're not even written for them. It's a very generic, like, write up. We want a script that has these things because back in the day it was market research. Today it's AI, weirdly enough. Like what's popular, right. and so they put it in the algorithm. So for this, like, I thought this was actually a well put together movie. Now, if it was written by AI, I'd be surprised because I thought it would be something extra, stupid. But
that's fair.
All right, we got our ratings. Let's get into our last. We're going to do 2 more things tonight before we hop off because we have another show to do after this. Make sure to join us over at Horror Star Sturdy. But 2013 is my new mixed movie pick, and I'm going with the movie Enemy. Now, if anybody hasn't seen it, have you seen it?
Yeah.
It's a weird movie, man. I love it.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen this movie, I highly suggest go check it out. It's 100% worth it. It's Jake Gyllenhaal's in the role, and he finds out that he has a basically a carbon copy of himself, just this doppelganger that exists. And through trying to find out more about his life and who he is, some crazy stuff happens along the way, and we learn more about the truth of what the doppelgangers are.
Right.
It's very interesting. I'm trying so hard to not give anything away.
Mm-hmm. Which is
If
fair.
you-
I think.
I will say this for anybody who's afraid of spiders, you might want to think twice.
Right.
And the only other thing, it's not bad. It's not bad. Like, it's not like arachnophobia, but it can haunt your dreams forever. That's all I'm going to say. It can haunt your dreams forever.
You'll get a little itch a couple times.
So, is there anything you want to say about the movie before we take off?
I would compare this to other movies that came out around the time, such as like The Nines with Ryan Reynolds. So if you enjoy those psychological type movies like that, I think this one did a great job delivering. I just think it was outshined by movies like The Nines and what was the other one that came out in 2013?
There were a lot of them around that time.
So it was big time for psychological type ones, but I do think this one just slipped under the radar, unfortunately. But if that's what you enjoy watching, I think you will not be disappointed.
Yeah. I like your put on that. So go check that out. That's my mixed movie pick for the week. Thank you, Paul. We're going to be taking off in just a few minutes. I just want to go off and did you watch the Golden Globes?
I did not.
I don't blame you. It was terrible. It just is every year. It's a completely corrupt system. And yes, I know the Halloween Foreign Press isn't, but I know Penske is, and they are not the House of Mouse. So I will tell you, they're as corrupt as they are. So as they come, rather. But I will tell you this: not very happy with many of the results. Maybe the next episode we'll get into it, or maybe I'll Mick at night. So make sure you check in for that. But you can't do that unless you are subscribe, and hit that bell so you know when more shows like this and others come out as well. Thank you guys so much for joining. If you like our shirts, the Horror Snob shirts or any other design, we have plenty of movie designs on there for sci-fi, comedy, the whole 9 yards. And some of our own personal designs. So go check out snobsmerch.com. It's in the link tree down below. So is the Discord. Make sure you join up there. The Snobs Society. That's what we're doing now. We are the Snobs Society. So join up with us over on Discord. Talk to us. Have a good time over there. We're really getting into it. You can follow us on all social media as well, as you can see right down here. You can listen to this show and our shows Warp Factor Fiction and other podcasts over on any podcast platform. Thank you guys again so much. You are all truly awesome. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you to our sponsor, StubHub, who we have the link down below and the affiliate link down below. So go check them out because it's going to be getting warmer soon. And you're going to want to get those tickets for when it does. Trust me. Get out of the house. All right, guys. Until next time, Paul, you got anything you want to say before we take off?
Nope. You guys have a great week. Stay safe from all the rain. Stay dry.
And hopefully we'll be back with you again. Next week, we have the cast and the director of Grind, a new horror film that's coming out. A friend of mine from high school is in it as well, and I can't wait to talk to her and catch up with her and everybody else. Thank you guys so much for doing that. Make sure you're following us on Instagram because we're going to have some special announcements coming out very, very soon. But thank you again so much for everything. Remember to be kind, stay classy, and make sure to take care of yourselves because that's so important. And if you ever need the help, we always have the resources in the description for mental health. So thank you guys again, and take care. I didn't click it. It's a fuck off episode.